We'll call the meeting to order. Nikki, please note the roll. Is there any public comments?
Any emails received by anyone?
Moving on to the consent agenda items. First is going to be the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Directors held on July 2nd of 2025. The closed session of the Board of Directors held on July 2nd of 2025. The regular meeting of the Michigan South Central Power Agency Board of Commissioners held on May 29th of 2025. Also, the work session of the Michigan South Central Power Agency Board of Commissioners held on May 29th of 2025. Also included is going to be departmental reports for the Board of Public Utilities, operation reports, and financial statements for June of 2025, the bills and accounts for period ending July 31st of 2025, and also the power supply cost projections. So any questions on any of those items? See none, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion is passed. Next on the agenda is going to be the introduction of the new hire, Maxwell Garn. Is an OJT student. There he is.
Hi, my name's Max. I just started in the IT department as an OJT last Monday. I'm excited for the opportunity to work here and excited to keep on working here for the remainder of the school year. Yeah.
Well, nice to have you. Hope you learn a lot. Okay. Intern presentations will be next for the regular agenda. Rep Franklin will be first.
Thank you, President Stevens. Going to be turning this over to Rhett Franklin, our electrical engineering intern for the summer. Tell you a little bit about what he did for us over the past couple of months. Rhett.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Rhett Franklin. I was the electrical engineering intern for the City of Coldwater Board of Public Utilities this summer. A little bit about myself. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I am finishing up a 2-year electrical technologies program at Michigan State, ending this summer. My plans for the future are to re-attend Michigan State University and earn my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. My expectations going into this summer were to get a better understanding of the power industries and the more nuanced levels of power transmission and substation management. I was excited to get a better insight on how engineering software worked and how it operated, and get a more diverse look at how to use and apply it to my day-to-day work. I was hoping to also get a better understanding of what it takes to be a power engineer and the requirements and skills that would be needed for a day-to-day work operation. I was also hoping to better understand the necessary skills to work in an office setting full-time alongside other coworkers and members. For my first project this summer, I was assigned, along with Brayton Franklin and McKenna, to help redesign the old city spec book to help better utilize all the poles and attachments we have for the linemen. The process for this was to use AutoCAD to redesign all the different parts and specs on every utility pole in the city that we have, and hopefully make it more clear and concise for any lineman out in the field to be able to look and use it. The results for this project were I was able to complete multiple new drawings, and they will be now implemented in the new city spec book in the future. For my second project, my main summer project was a complete capacitor bank audit for the city. I was tasked with completely finding all the capacitor banks in the city and marking them down. I was to create a sag and swell map of all the locations where we were experiencing high and low swells in voltage and mark where and why they were occurring. I was also set to select and help install new capacitor bank controllers that would better fit on our system. The reasoning for this project is we have been experiencing sags and swells in voltage across the city, and to replace the old equipment from the 90s that is now outdated and does not work on our equipment anymore. I was hoping to also help improve the power factor and reduce current downline. For the process during this project, I was tasked with identifying all the locations for the previous capacitor banks in the city and marking them down on a map. I was also to develop a Excel sheet of all of the sags and swells that we experienced in the city and mark their time and how high or low that sag or swell voltage was. I was also to contact sales representatives from multiple different companies and get their input on different controllers for capacitor banks and see which one best fit our system and our software. The results for this project was I was able to develop a heat map of all the sags and swells in the city, as you can see in the background of this. I also was able to receive multiple inputs from different vendors on capacitor bank controllers and was able to narrow it down to multiple contenders. I also was able to compile a spreadsheet for all the capacitor bank controllers and which options would best fit our system and which ones would work with our SCADA system. My impressions of the industry after working this summer was that it is very fast paced. It is constantly moving and you have to keep on your feet all the time to keep up with coworkers and demand from linemen and customers. There's very little room for error, whether it be substation management or just taking down data during a meeting. It's very important to keep clear and concise notes of what you're doing and make sure that you're keeping thin margins for error, whatever you do. I also noticed that the electrical power industry is constantly changing and evolving. There's always some new system to be used or some new software that can be implemented. And I was excited and enjoyed getting to learn the ins and outs of all the different softwares and processes that got to be implemented on the system this summer. Lessons that I've learned this summer were how to better work with coworkers and customers in an office setting. I was able to better set meetings and times for different schedules for whatever it may be, going from managing meetings with customers or managing meetings with distributors. I was also able to better manage my time this summer, coming from East Lansing every morning to get to work on time and then coming to work and being able to manage what I did during the day in a sectionalized manner was very important. So I was able to better develop time management skills to sectionalize what I was doing and get it done in a more process way. I also learned how to use a variety of engineering software such as AutoCAD and SCADA, which I hope to be able to use down the line in my career. I also learned how to better communicate in a professional setting with coworkers, customers, distributors, whether I may be asking questions or I may be taking down notes from my manager or a customer. And learned how to better understand and communicate back to whoever I may need in a more concise manner. Thank you for your time. Okay.
Thanks. We appreciate having you over the summer and all your hard work. Next is gonna be Devin Hawkins from the GIS department.
Hello, members of the board. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to present for you today. A little introduction about me. My name is Devin Hawkins, and I was the GIS intern this summer, working from May to August 2025. My background, I come from the University of Alabama. I major in geography with a concentration in urban planning and with a minor in GIS. And I use this position here to gain experience in mapping and using geospatial analysis and data analytics. I was able to assist in the use of GIS services using our utility models, our services in general, and I was able to expand professional communication skills and experience. My expectations versus reality for the job, I came in thinking I'd be working in this building and I'd be surrounded by tons of people. But I was in fact working in the Enoch building, and I'd say that was actually a better opportunity for me. I found it a way more close-knit community where I was able to become friends with every person around me, and it made it a far more enjoyable thing. I kind of went into it thinking, oh, it would just be an office job. I'd be sitting at a computer all day messing with ArcGIS. But I found the job actually had many opportunities to present field work, whether that be drone photography, gathering GPS data points. I was able to get out and do things way more than I thought it would be. When I came in, I did not consider I'd be doing anything safety related. The whole idea of safety just never crossed my mind, but I figured out that the city of Coldwater has a large emphasis on safety, and it's very much a top priority here. And lastly, I thought I'd just be the one to fetch coffee, but no, in fact, in our office, I'd be the one to fetch energy drinks. Going into my projects, the main one for the summer is the site selection project, in which I created an interactive map, as you could see in the bottom right corner, where it's a database and a map of every area in Branch County, the parcels where we're looking to develop land in the future. And with that, I was able to create map sets, whether that be topography, utilities, zoning, all the information that you need if you want to develop on that site is available for any investing companies. And with that, I was able to collaborate with the heads of CBPU, whether that be electric, water and wastewater, telecom, and I gathered information on these sites, everything you need to know, like far more stuff, way more complex than for me to understand. And using this information, it will assist BCEGA and Economic Development Board in the future. Audrey, gone but not forgotten, whoever's going to take her place is going to love what I did with this project. With the outage map, since 2019, the electrical linemen have been gathering data on a program called Survey 123 about every outage, where it's occurred, and why it happened across the city of Coldwater. But this information, it's good to be as data, but it wasn't very able to be viewed visually and geospatially. So this project took all that information from an Excel spreadsheet and turned it into a map version, as you're seeing right there. And using this data, I also created a heat map to better pinpoint areas of focus and able to change variables to be viewed, like such as the cause, the year it happened, and the severity in terms of the numbers of customers who lost power. And this information will be used to optimize our repair and maintenance methods in the future, whether that be vegetation management, whether that be where to invest in new poles, any of that could be better viewed using this map. Lastly was the transformers spill plan project. So transformers, they're known to contain insulating oil, but this can actually be a major hazard if it leaks out. And that hazard is multiplied if it leaches into drains, inlets, manholes. And to counter this problem, I used ArcGIS in order to collect all the transformers within 10 feet of a manhole or inlet within the city of Coldwater. I then went out, I photographed and recorded notes on each and every one of them. And I created a massive list of them, all the information you need. And it'll be used by Brayton Franklin in the future to redesign our spill containment plan moving forward. Outside of projects, I gained many skills in the field. I found that the physical experience I gained through my projects far outweighed any classroom knowledge that I gained. I was able to gain skills specifically in ArcGIS, such as using programs like ArcGIS Online and our work within organizations and our massive file database, learning how to sort through that of every project the company and the electrical department and the GIS department has ever done. I was able to take an online class to get a drone certification, meaning I am now able to put that on a resume, say that, hey, I am able to legally fly a drone. And general knowledge of electrical systems, I really had no idea how any of it worked coming in, but now I find myself being able to understand way more, whether that be how the basics of a subsystem and how how power makes it from there to the sites. Community engagement, I partook in various opportunities to engage in the local community, whether that be setting out flags. On Memorial Day, I worked the check-in table at the blood drive in June. I volunteered at Hops on Monroe, stamping people's hands. And the best thing of all, I went to a GIS conference in Kalamazoo in June, where it was from across the state of Michigan, people came together to share their interests in GIS. And there were many seminars and meetings, all about people trying to show their love and their knowledge on the subject. And I gained so much practical experience in those meetings. Moving forward, I plan to receive a master's degree at the University of Alabama. I will likely be beginning that in the spring of 2026, finishing that spring of 2027. I will also, in the fall, work as a GIS coordinator in the Hazards, Vulnerability, and Decision-Making Research Lab at the University of Alabama, where they work with severe weather, severe threats of that kind, studying how geospatial aspects of it affect how people view them and decide to treat them moving forward, specifically focusing on the coastal areas of Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. And I'll also be the activities chair with the club geography. I will be working towards making events and I'll be working towards events for the fall and spring semester. And one last thing, I would like to say thank you to the board for this opportunity to present once again. And an individual thank you to Dean Walrack, to Jesse Smith, Brayton Franklin, and Andrew Cameron for your help allowing me to expand my knowledge and really blossom during this internship. Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work. We appreciate having you.
And is there any questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks. Next on the agenda is going to be Bob Worley, the spare fiber node cabinet will be the discussion.
Good afternoon, President Stevens, members of the board. After our recent outage, we had a follow-up on after action review. The staff started looking at contingencies for a spare fiber node cabinet. Nodes are throughout the town, of course. They house the electronics, fiber patch panels, batteries. And of course, all the homes are fed out of those cabinets. While they're hardened, they're still susceptible should a catastrophic event happen, such as a vehicle accident, should one run into, vehicle run into a cabinet, fallen trees, or of internal fire in them. Staff obtained an estimate to provide a fully loaded fiber cabinet with all the necessary equipment. Total for that cabinet came to $84,605. The lead time varies on each piece of equipment. It can be anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. And by purchasing everything together, we do save money. If we were to buy it separately, it would cost more. And the availability, to get the items here would take longer as well. Therefore, I'd like to be proactive, and it's my recommendation to approve the purchase of the spare fiber node cabinet from Aspen Smart Networks in the amount of $84,605.
Where will this cabinet be installed?
That would be in our building, should, let's say, a car go through a cabinet, it would replace the existing one that's out there.
Okay.
And we, of course, we'd salvage what we could out of the old cabinet.
So how long would that process take if we had to replace one? I mean, what's the lead time or the process time to get that replaced completely?
It would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 48 to 72 hours. By the time you get the old cabinet off the base, get the line crew out there, they would have to be involved with one of their trucks to place it. And then the process would take place to splice all the fiber, get all the customers reconnected. Most cabinets, have two 244 count panels in them. And that in itself, just splicing that fiber, a guy'd be there a day.
So let's say we're lucky and we never ever use this cabinet. How long can it sit in storage and still be good or not be obsolete?
It could actually, with our network, it should be good for 10 to 15 years, easy. Easy. And as long as we don't upgrade any further, which how this system was built with the active Ethernet instead of a PON system, this system really will not change very much at all. If there is any change, it would be the electronics inside the cabinet, but you're looking at, like I said, 10, 15 years easy.
Thank you.
What about barricading our existing boxes? What about barricading our existing boxes with?
That
put steel
has been
poles?
discussed, putting pylons in front of them. That was discussed during the build. We never landed on doing that though, but it's something that we have discussed.
I would say at
Once
least the
again.
high risk ones of traffic. I mean, that's something we probably should be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, with the old HFC system, we did have a car crash into one of them. And that was over on Grand Street, down by Waterman.
Okay.
And out of all the cabinets it hit, it picked the perfect one. There were only 12 fibers. We got lucky. We got lucky.
What's the desire of the board?
I'll move to purchase extra cabinet.
Okay,
Work.
got a motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion's passed. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Next on the agenda is going to be the 13J-4 Circuit Construction Contract. Andrew, you are up.
Thank you, President Stevens. Good evening, members of the board. So here today to talk about the 13J4 circuit out of the Jonesville substation. This is phase 2 of a project with Clemens to give those folks increased capacity and reliability. This would be phase 2 related to their expansion that's been recently announced. So to go back, phase 1 was the 13J3 circuit. That was the construction of a 900 amp rated circuit on the east side of Fillmore Road, Fisk Road, coming out of our Jonesville substation. They've been transferred to that when that project was completed in 2023. As mentioned, 13J4 will be the second phase. It'll be essentially building out a parallel capacity rated circuit on the west side of Fisk Road, underbuilt the existing pole line that serves them today. Would again be a 13.8 kV 900 amp rated circuit. This would be for the construction portion of the contract. We decided, based on our existing workload in the electric department, to contract this out to bid. So working with Bert Danis, which is formerly GRP Engineering, on preparing the engineering, the staking, and the design for the project, as well as the bid spec. Those bid documents were sent out to 6 contractors, of which 2 were received. The low bidder being CC Power at a cost of $100,208. I will note Coldwater hasn't worked directly with CC Power in the past, but speaking with some peers at the Michigan Municipal Electric Association, they spoke very highly of them, as well as our engineer, Verdanis, has worked recently with them on a number of projects in the area as well. So on the 13J4 project, I will note that the $100,000 is only for the construction portion of the project and does not include the material. The material would be another $180,000 based on the engineer's estimate. We're still finalizing some of the staking sheets and will likely bring back the bid for the materials in another month or so. I will note that while Coldwater will be originally paying for the material in the construction of the circuit, ultimately Clemens is going to be responsible for paying back said costs as they were and have paid for the first phase 13J3. So with that, staff is recommending awarding the construction of the 13J4 circuit to CC Power at a cost of $100,208. With that, would be happy to entertain any questions you folks may have.
There's no questions. What's the desire of the board?
A motion to approve?
Support.
Got a motion to support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion's passed.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Andrew. Next on the agenda is going to be the after-hours help desk support. Brian.
Good evening. In June of 2020, the Board of Public Utilities started transforming our help desk, and we signed a contract with NRTC to take over the after-hour calls. We had a 3-year contract signed. It expired in 2023. We went into auto renewal for 1 year, and I've been working on this for a while to get quotes and see where we would land with this. So we are on a month-to-month basis at this time. One of the thoughts was to bring the help desk back because it's the most efficient, customer-friendly thing that we could do. Cost-wise, it's not the smartest thing we could do. So we also went out to bids and got some bids for some folks to give us a quote for new contracts. One of the things we've looked at was the number of calls that have dropped after Skidder shut down. So we have dropped, in June, we had 63 calls into NRTC for the whole month of June, 601 the BPU, the staff we have there handled during the day. In July, we dropped to 44 calls to NRTC and 420 to CBPU. When this will also drop after we get rid of the HFC plant, because most of our calls have to do with that. So where was I? Lost my train of thought. I hurt my thumb. Now I can't think. So we went out, got some quotes. Aspen Smart Networks gave us a quote of $1.40 per sub on a 5-year contract. They also gave us $1.60 a sub for a 3-year contract if we wanted to go shorter. And then who we have now, NRTC, gave us a quote of $1.25 per subscriber, but they have some other costs tied into that, plus escalators on the contract as the years progress. So after careful consideration, past performance of NRTC, staff is recommending entering into a 5-year contract with Aspen Smart Networks for after-hours support. And I will gladly answer any questions, or if I can't, I got my friend Bob here to help.
Do we know where their call center is located?
You knew you were going to ask that too. There you go.
Where was that?
Maple City.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Bob. I had it written down.
So fairly close.
They provide help desk services for several places, so it's not something that they are not familiar with. And they do the on-call stuff also, where NRTC struggled with the on-call stuff because that's not what they do. They just did it for us.
One of the other benefits too, by going with Aspen, is they'll be able to troubleshoot a more in-depth to issues that we're having on our system, instead of having to wait until our actual other help desk technicians would come in on a Saturday or Sunday for a couple hours. So overall, we're looking at the possibility of eliminating some overtime on Saturdays and Sundays and weekends, just to be able to have them log into the system, find out what the problem is, talk a little bit more with our customers and being familiar with some of the equipment that we have, to say, go ahead and reset the modem. And oh, by the way, here's where the on off switch is, kind of walk them through that process, where NRTC was kind of good at it, but not real good at it. So it's just one of those, we believe it's going to be a better fit for our customers to be able to get information, as well as one of the things that Brian said, it gives us the opportunity to sit down and relook at all the other facilities that we take calls for, water, wastewater, electric, to go through the flow charts and make sure that those are accurate, and sit down and go over the expectations with Aspen to make sure that they understand what our customers deserve as far as service.
Yeah, so they have direct influence into our network. So they can do pretty much anything right there.
Any other questions for Brian? Okay, we need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Thank you. Motion support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Say nay. Motion's passed.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brian. Next is public comment. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business and the director's report. Turn it over to utility director.
Thank you, President Stevens, members of the board. So I'll start with our PCA. This month's PCA is 0.01822 and 0.01877 for secondary meters. The higher prices is related to the higher cost of power that we are seeing. A lot of it has to do with higher temps and the higher cost of power. Just to give you a number as well, too, Henry Hub for gas pricing is anywhere from 350 to 450 per MMBTU for the foreseeable next 12 months. Just a reminder for the public as well, too, that September 1st is when the new rates go into effect, which we should see our PCA drop based on that new increase to the base rate itself. Our OJT student, Max Garn, you guys had met him earlier, so we're not going to go a whole lot into that. Otherwise, that we welcome him here, and his first day was July 28th. And I know, I'm thinking he's probably much rather spend the day here than start school in a few weeks. So good luck to him at school as well. Interns, Rhett Franklin and Devin Hawkins, as you saw the presentation, gained quite a bit of information. And you know, one of the interesting things, Andrew and I went out and took them out to lunch today, and they're not really kidding when we talk about that. A lot of their friends, when they have internships and stuff over the summer or cooperative opportunities, are not doing and getting involved as much as they are here at CBPU. They are going and getting coffee. They are making copies. They're not really getting into real life situations. So kudos to everyone that's involved in making sure that their internship is actually exciting for them. A reminder, Entertainment Under the Stars, CBPU will be sponsoring that next Tuesday, the 12th, with Island Vibe. They'll take the stage at 7 o'clock. Please come out. We'll have a little table with a little bit of swag out there, but don't forget your lawn chairs, or you'll be standing and dancing. Strategic planning, we're going to be wrapping up our strategic planning, our next session, August 12th and 13th. And I know that none of the board will be able to attend the session. So what I did is, on your table, I provided you an overview and some notes from the last session. Please look over those. And if you do have any comments or questions, there's a couple of homework questions in there too that you might see. So any information, feedback that you can provide before next Tuesday would be greatly appreciated. We're in the midst of, we've got one more week approximately of our school supply drive. We want to make sure that all of the students in Coldwater are set up for success as they return to school. So we've gone ahead and done a school drive, a school supply drive. We've talked to local schools, found out exactly what they are looking for, and we're trying to provide them as well. August 13th is the last day to go ahead and be able to bring that in either to City Hall or to the rec center. And then we'll be boxing it up and dividing it up according to what the schools are needing and delivering it that first week of school. Just a reminder, in observance of Labor Day, our city offices will be closed on September 1st. But if you do want to make a payment, you can still do that online. You'll have to do it online and not in person. So, and with that, that is my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Nikki, the date of the next meeting?
Wednesday, September 3rd.
Is there any questions for adjournment? See you now, we're adjourned.